I went to a car meet for the first time, and I gotta say, it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. Now I know what you might be saying. Gibson, you're a car enthusiast that's never been to a car meet, and to that I say yes, I've never been to a car meet. Well, unless you consider this to be a car meet. Yeah, not very interesting to say the least. And in my area, there just aren't that many cool cars. Like the only cars that I really see that are cool to me are other Mustangs, maybe other Miatas. That's kind of it, you know. There's an extremely large saturation of Challengers and Chargers, and specifically the Scat Pack. And while I can appreciate them to some degree, it just gets kind of boring when that's all you see every time you go out the house. And as a sucker for JDM cars, old or new, cars near me just don't really do it for me. But there was one faithful day, March 1st, 2024. Here I was driving home from the post office, and I see this wide-body green NC Miata, and as you may know, it's kind of like a rite of passage if you own a Miata. If you see other Miata owners, you kind of have to wave to them at like all cost. So that's exactly what I do. We both pull up to a red light, and I roll down my window, and he's like, "Cool car, man." And I'm like, "Thank you, bro." And he's like, "You want to go to a car meet?" And I'm like, "Shit. Yeah, like, what, are you crazy?" Mind you, we're still in traffic, and as the light turns green, we're both still talking to each other, trying to like exchange Instagrams, like, so we can get the information for the car meet. Like, he was for real about to run himself off the road just so he could tell me the details, but I find a spot to pull over on the side of the road, and we start exchanging details of, where the meet is at and who's gonna be there. And he also tells me he's trying to gather as many Miatas as possible. And I'm thinking like, man, this is the first time having a cool car has connected me with other people who also have cool cars. So I'm like, I can't really say no to this. I gotta be honest. So we exchanged Instagrams and I locked down the info. Sunday, March 3rd, 5 p.m. All I had to do now was just wait. And I start thinking like, I know the Miata is stock and all, but I think a good wash would be a good idea, right? I don't know if I'll meet any other people there, maybe make a friend or two, who knows? But first impressions are everything. So first things first, I gotta wash this thing. Oh, and rotate the tires. I've been meaning to do that. There you go. Time for the rear. Telling me I don't have enough torques for this? We're gonna try one more time. Alright, yeah, I guess we're not doing this. Man. Well, I guess we're washing it now. Okay. A sandwich? Mm-hmm. I'm recording right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why is that hot?
My hair looks disgusting.
Beautiful car. Thank you, man. Thank you. The Miata is always the answer. All right, I think we're done. So after washing the car, I go to meet at Wawa with the other Miatas, and this is the most amount of Miatas I've ever seen in one spot, and I gotta say, It was glorious. But after a little waiting for everyone to show up, it was finally time to head out. Now, this is the first time I've ever been in a cruise with a bunch of other car people and a bunch of other cool cars. And I gotta say, like, it's just really, really cool to finally be a part of a community where, you know, you share that same sort of passion, that same interest as everyone else. Until you realize that nobody's on the same page and everybody's just kind of playing follow the leader. And if the leader fucks up, everybody else fucks up. So since nobody's on the same page, we all got split up. And for a while, it wasn't that bad because we could still all see each other. But as we headed into, you know, prime rush hour, I don't know why the hell we left so late, but as we headed into prime rush hour, we all pretty much got disbanded. Thankfully, though, I was able to keep track of this purple i8 we left with. Not like it's hard to keep track of a bright purple car, but yeah, as we headed into PA, we really hit traffic. And I gotta say, traffic is not fun. All right, so quick intermission. The group I left with got split the fuck up, and I'm in like the middle of Philly right now. And yeah, this is not fun. This clutch in first, neutral, clutch in first, neutral, bro. This is not fun. Nobody told me this was gonna be the experience of having a manual sports car, bro. This is not fun. This is not fun. I'll cut back to when I am having fun, all right? Now, this is the part where I'd cut to me having fun, but I ain't really have none of that. So after like a straight hour of sitting in traffic, I noticed that one of the people that we left with is on my right trying to tell me something. So I rolled down my window, all for him to tell me the spot for the meet changed. So at that point now, I'm starting to kind of regret saying yes to this whole thing, because if I knew it was gonna be like that, I definitely would have had some second thoughts about coming. But I did see a 911 GT3 for the first time in action, and I gotta say, 9,000 RPM is a sight to behold, or more like a sound to behold. Yeah, a sound to behold. But after leaving as a group, mobbing on the highway, and getting split up on the highway, all to get informed that the location of the meet changed, I finally arrived. And here's a couple interesting cars, to say the least. Yeah, that's one way to describe them. I saw this lime green Mercedes, a Jetta on purple wheels, a 350 Xeon Reps, and honestly, everything else was so forgettable that you'll just have to look at the footage and spot whatever. Like, the coolest cars I saw there was the Zenki S14, an Evo 4, that was actually pretty cool, but he left before I got to get a good look at him. And while I was expecting a little bit of cooler cars to be there, I was generally expecting a better sense of community, you know? When I think of car meets, I think of how they were 10, 11, 12 years ago, and though I never went to any, I always get reminded of That Dude in Blues videos of how car meets were back then. Where shit is just chill, you know, where everybody's getting along, you know, you're meeting new people, making friends, and with that being my expectation, it's safe to say I was severely disappointed. But thankfully, all hope was not lost, because the original spot we were supposed to meet at was called Assad's Chicken. And for the people in the Jersey, Philly, New York, Delaware area, you might have seen them on Instagram for their very appetizing looking food. So after leaving the meet, I figure, like, I'm here now. I'm probably not gonna be here for I don't know how long, and I may as well try this food that I constantly see on Instagram. But once I pull it up, I kind of see the remnants of the cars that were there for the original meet, and here's how that went. All right, all hope may not be lost. I'm at the original spot we were supposed to meet, and it's a lot more chill here, it seems like. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody cares about those. The most important car here. Some slightly more interesting cars, but still not exactly what I was expecting out of a car meet. And it's kind of crazy to say that out of this entire experience, the best part of it was that damn chicken. It was so good, in fact, that I drove back to the same spot a week later to get some food because it was just that good. But in the end, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna go to a car meet again, but let's just say my eyes don't have to be drawn to everything that I see. And who knows? Maybe car meets in the modern age are just not for me.